Hi friends, I hope you all are doing great this Sunday evening. I want to share with you a recipe that Mike and I tried, and I am excited to share it with you, so let's get started. Okay friends, this is a pizza stone because we're going to be baking pizza tonight, but it's not your traditional style homemade pizza. This is something that I was watching the James Corden interview with Oprah, and he was saying how he has this pizza that he loves that is very Weight Watchers friendly, and it doesn't have any flour or wheat or bread. So we said we were going to give it a try because he went on about how good it was. It has things like the broccoli, and it has cheese. It does have mozzarella cheese, but it's a unique way of making the actual dough for it. And so I'm going to start by making the sangria. I think I'm gonna start with that first, and then while the pizza stone is warming in the oven, because you have to put it in the oven and get it hot before you actually sit anything on it. And so in our sangria, we're going to have oranges and peaches and strawberries and blueberries. And I have this big container here that you may recognize from my entertaining closet, but I actually use this to mix my sangria because it gives me enough space. But it's really cute. It has a lid, but it's not user-friendly for sitting in my fridge, so I'm not going to store it in the fridge. I'm going to transfer it into a carafe, but I like making it into this because it allows me to kind of make a nice batch for Mike and I. So the first thing is all about cutting up that fruit. Again, I'm cutting up those peaches, cutting up the oranges and the strawberries, and you can put whatever fruit you want in your sangria. There are so many variations, and it's such a creative drink and fun drink, especially for the spring and the summer. You also can make non-alcoholic versions, and so it really is something that you can have a lot of fun with this spring and summer. So after you cut up your fruit into kind of nice bite-sized pieces, or chunks rather I should say, you want to add them into your container. Now I always say when you're making sangria, make sure to use a container that's clear glass. And the reason you want clear glass is because you want to see all of those beautiful fruits coming out of your carafe. It's just really a gorgeous look and can add to the ambiance to any occasion. So you want to gently press down with a wooden spoon or a spoon on your fruit, but you don't want to break it up. You're then going to add your orange juice, followed by red wine, and you can choose the wine of your choice. And I like to put kind of equal parts of the orange juice, equal parts of the wine, but you can adjust the taste to yourself. You can adjust the fruit to yourself. That's the fun thing about sangria. It can be tweaked to fit what you like. And so then I'm pouring all of this, I'm transferring it over into my carafe, and this is the carafe that will actually sit in the fridge. And so you want to let your sangria chill for a couple hours. This is, again, nice to make ahead of time because that's when you get the best taste. And so when I go to serve it up, I'm putting a little ice in the glass. Now you can choose not to put ice if yours is nicely chilled, but mine is not that chilled before we're eating it, so I'm going to add in the ice and the blueberries. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to top it with some sparkling water, and this is always a nice kick to your sangria. So I love putting that sparkling water in there. It just really gives it a nice kick. So that is the sangria for our pizza night, our homemade healthy pizza night. And so now it's time to move over to the pizza. So friends, let me first say that this is the first time that I'm making this pizza, so you are going on this journey with me. And I have my food processor here because we're going to start with making what you call the dough. What is the crust of the pizza? And so I want to go ahead and start with that because we have to get that in the oven because it needs to bake a little bit before we actually put the toppings and things on it. And so one thing that I liked about the idea of this pizza was that it didn't include the bread, because Mike and I were doing the Weight Watchers. We're trying to get healthy, learn how to fix things that allow us to not feel like we're missing out on food, but can still enjoy it in a healthy way. Now this is a really neat gadget, and I'll link it below, and it's a simple, I know it looks like a simple kind of silicone piece, but what it does is it peels your garlic. How frustrating is garlic to peel? So you put your clove in there, and then you just give it a couple rolls onto the counter, and friends, it totally does it for you. I mean, it's done. It's ready for you to chop. And I love this. This is just one of the neatest tools. Again, I'll link it below. Now, I'm going to take the chickpeas and we're going to give it just a nice little pulse in the food processor. You don't want to get it totally kind of mush, but you do want to chop it up according to the recipe. So now we're going to add in a little bit of cornstarch. and then some Italian seasoning. And again, this can be to your taste, to what you like. And then we're going to add in some salt and a little bit of pepper. And I'm just making sure that my crust has that flavor. And then also some cayenne pepper. So I'm just giving it that little kick that I want. And then I'm going to now mix it a little more. And I'm going to really pulsate it. I'm not mixing, I'm more so pulsating just to kind of get everything blended well. And then what I'm going to do from that point, I'll add in some additional ingredients, and then we'll be ready to roll. So once you have it so that everything is blended, you want to kind of stop and then chop and make sure with your spoon and make sure that everything is getting mixed well, because sometimes in your food processor it gets to where it's just kind of mixing one section of the batter or the mixture, and so stopping is a must. And then you're going to add in an egg, and from the egg you're going to add in some grated Parmesan cheese, and then we're going to nicely mix this. So you want to put this on blend now, because you really want everything well blended at this point. You have all of your ingredients in here, and it's just about getting that so-called dough, it's like a chickpea dough, ready. So I was a little at this point like wondering how it was going to turn out, and again how it was going to taste. So then I take my parchment paper and I lay it out, because now it's time to make the crust. And so it's about just pouring it out and then making that circle and getting it to spread. So this was a little learning process for me, but in the end I got it done. So let's get this out of the bowl and then make our crust. Okay, friends, now this is how it turned out, and it's ready to go into the oven so that we can kind of prep and pre-cook our crust for our pizza. Putting it on the stone, and the stone is actually on a round baking sheet as recommended per the recipe. And again, I'll link this recipe that I got offline for this pizza down below. And then I'm going to measure out my broccoli so that I can get all of the fixings ready for the toppings, ready for the pizza. And so I think it was 16 ounces that I needed of the broccoli, and this is just the most gorgeous broccoli. And so I knew I was going to enjoy this part of the pizza. And so I'm just kind of right now getting it so that I have the proper portions. Next, I'm going to get my red onion prepped, because that's another topping that's going onto the pizza. And what I will say about the toppings is when you're chopping these up, chop them in the form that you like on your pizzas. If you like your onions cut very fine and very chopped, then that's what you do. If you like larger pieces, then that's what you do. I then take the mozzarella cheese and I'm just kind of cutting them down into slices to lay over the pizza. And those are the 3 toppings that we're going to have on the pizza, along with sprinkling with some red pepper flakes as a finishing touch. And then I'm blanching the broccoli. This is just something that really makes it wilted. It's going to shrink down definitely, but it's the perfect amount for the pizza. Now I've taken my crust out, and friends, it really looks good. I'm like, okay, we have a pizza crust, we have our base. So now I'm taking some fresh tomato and basil sauce, and that's what I'm going to use as the sauce for my pizza. And now that the broccoli is ready, we are ready to start putting the pizza together. Of course, when you blanch, you need to take the broccoli and put it over cold water right afterwards, and then just kind of drain it. And now it is ready to go right on top of the pizza. Of course, we're going to bake our pizza once we put the toppings on, but now is the fun part, because I feel like I'm going to see it come together. So I'm adding the tomato sauce. I'm trying to add a thin layer, but as I see it, I'm like, ooh, this looks good. I want more. So Mike was looking at me. He's like, you're getting kind of heavy with everything, but I want it to be really nice. One thing I forgot to mention is that you want to get some ground chicken and cook your ground chicken, and that's your meat topping for your pizza, and that's what I'm putting on here. And so once you put the meat on, so it's going to be the crust, the sauce, then the meat, and then you want to put your broccoli all around, and I'm starting to see it come together, and it's starting to look really yummy. So I'm really excited at this point. Because initially I'm like, I don't know about a pizza without dough, you know? But then when James Corden was talking about it, he was really excited about it. He's like, I'm a pizza guy and I like this pizza. So I was like, okay, we're going to give this a try. And so then it's about just putting my onions on there and then topping off with the mozzarella. And that's it, friends. I did go ahead and just throw my red peppers on before I cooked them. I probably should have waited afterwards, but I just threw it on there. I put it in the oven, and friends, here we go. And I will say that it was absolutely delicious. Mike even said it was yummy, and we loved it. I mean, we literally ate the whole pizza. It gave us 4 nice sized pieces, so we each got 2, and we had our sangria. And friends, it was really good. So I was excited that this turned out really well. So friends, I hope you have enjoyed today's video. Definitely click that subscribe button if you are not subscribed to At Home with Nikki family. And if you enjoyed this video, I definitely would love it if you would click that like button. Have a beautiful day, my friends. I will see you at the next video. And this is Nikki saying goodbye.